Tatum, and I'm a senior associate out of the San Diego office. And today what I want to talk to you about is why mindfulness, practicing mindfulness, should be part of your consulting practice. The reason why I bring this up is I think a lot of us can relate to what I call the corporate zombie apocalypse, which is maybe yourself, you're guilty of it, or someone you know. But it usually looks something like this. You're sucked into your phone all day walking around, or you're on autopilot. The first response you give when one of your coworkers asks you, "How are you doing today?" I'm busy. I'd really love to take PTO, but I can't. Constantly stressed out, just walking around on autopilot. So this is very important to organizations. And I want to ask you a question about 4 organizations you've probably heard of. One is Google, SAP, Aetna Health, and IBM. What do those 4 organizations have in common? Any guesses?
Mindfulness training.
And anything else?
Good employee retention and rapport.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
They've upped it a notch. They've created a role called the CMO. That's the Chief Mindfulness Officer. So organizations are investing more and more money into this because they're seeing the outcomes that mindfulness can produce within an organization. When you think about things like stress and burnout and retention, it comes back to how can you reduce those activities that cause stress? Well, a lot of the times it's when you're walking around being reactive, not having your thoughts in order, and not just taking a moment for simple gratitude throughout the day. I've just come from a conference a couple of months ago. It's called the SIOP Conference, Society of IO Psychology. And I can attest to the fact that more researchers, PhDs with IO psychology degrees, are studying and getting more funding in the mindfulness space because organizations are taking more interest in this topic. So I leave you with this final point, and it's a page out of Covey's book. It's ironic that we're in a Covey's class. Begin with the end in mind. Every day you're at your job, it may seem like it's just another mundane day. You only have so many years, so many projects, so many close client relationships that you're going to have in your career. Accept those, take those in, and be present. No one is going to remember you based on how many emails you got back, how many voluntary meetings you attended, or how many timesheets you missed, even though the firm, I know, would not like you to meet now. But what I'm trying to say is that begin with the end in mind. Be very intentional with your career, with your time, with your interactions, because they are much more limited than you may believe. Be the change in corporate America that you know it needs.
Woo!